It's the Digital Board Gamer here with our weekend review for May 5th to May 9th. We have 10 games to look at today. We have 3 full releases and then 7 beta games to look at. So first on Monday was 51st State, an engine building card game with tons of expansions. So far we have 1 expansion on BGA. You do need to be premium to play it. The game is free to play, but you need to play the new era, you will have to have premium. It is 2 to 4 players. You can see here it's rated 7.6 currently, weighed at 2.89, and voted best with 2. If you're familiar with Imperial Settlers or Imperial Settlers of the North, you'll be kind of familiar with the game already. They play rather similar, just different theming. The goal is to get to 25 points. Once one player reaches 25, then scoring will start. You have actions. You have 3 different types of actions that you want to try to gather. This one allows you to build, this one allows you to raid, which is destroy your opponent's stuff or use your cards. You see spoils here, you can discard your own cards for those. The blue ones here allow you to create deals, which is just income based. There's combos. Sometimes the amount of blue fuel tanks you have on all your cards might produce more, etc. You do have several faction actions you can do. Each faction's a little bit different. The number of gears might give you a different number of actions and so on, but you have these actions you can do to get these, so that way you can build and trade and destroy your opponent's stuff or discard your own stuff. And like I said, then it's just a race to 25, and then at the end of the game, buildings are all worth points, and then whoever has the most wins. If you like engine building, card playing, it's fun. It's not the best turn-based just because there's so many actions, so just be prepared for long games. I started a bunch of games Monday, and I'm still playing a couple of them, and I play quite a few turns a day. Next up, a little bit easier game on Wednesday was Flip 7. This is just a card push your luck game. It is 3 to 12 players on BGA. Currently rated a 7.2. Real lightweight, like I said, and it plays rather quick. Alright, in this game, you're racing to 200 points. You are playing multiple hands. You are trying to get 7 unique number cards in a row. That ends the round early. You get a bonus point of 15, I believe, and then the round's over. But generally, you're going to try to press your luck. This deck is made up of 12 12s, 11 11s, and so on. There is a 0. There's one card 0. And then there are several of these kind of cards here. This freeze card, this is in 3 times per deck. There's extra lives and so on. Reminds me a lot of Can't Stop. I like this one, but it's definitely one that you want to play with people you know, I think. Or if you can get on chat or some kind of version like that. Then lastly on Friday we had Didel, a cooperative tile placement game. Didel you can play solo or you can play up to 4. And there are 10 puzzles for you to play for right now. Now, there are more on the publisher's site, so I'm not sure if more will get added to this. But so far, there's only 10 on BGA. So first, you'll see each player gets their own deck. I have yellow on top of mine, where my teammate has blue on top of theirs. These 2 cards here are your own. These aren't cards you're sharing. So you're drawing from your own 12 set of cards. And you can see the goal here. We have to have 3 pillars. And we also have to trap the Minotaur. So the Minotaur is right here. And what you're going to need to do is place cards around him to try to trap him in. And then, of course, this game, we need to get 3 pillars in there. Now, your placement, I have yellow here. So I have to cover up 1 single yellow square. I can cover up more than 1 single yellow square, but it has to be 1. There are 2 characters here. There's a male and a female character here. These cards allow you to break that rule, and you can place it on any color. But then you're just going to place cards. You can rotate them around. Rooms, when they get blocked off, will turn gray and dark like this here. So you can see this room has been cut off from the Minotaur. So you know that that room's not counting towards it. And then it's a race to complete the challenge, or if you run out of cards in your deck. And you can see that BGA has 2 little green check marks. We trapped them, and we have 3 pillars. Therefore, we win. So if you like co-op puzzle games, check this one out. It's real light and real quick. And now for our 7 beta games. First is My Shelfie, a dice roll and write in a way. Just came out last year, not a whole lot of ratings, but 6.6 currently. there is a game that called My Shelfie. This is the dice game based on that game. 2 to 4 players. BGA says it'll take 11 minutes, and this one worked well, turn-based or real-time. All right, so this is a dice rolling game. No more Yahtzee rules apply, so you can roll 3 times. You can save after the first roll, save after the second roll, then you have to use what you get the third roll. So then what you're going to do is you're going to try to fill up all these spots. You can see the icon here on the left and then the number of dice on the top. So in goal, you want to try to get a Yahtzee of all 5 of one kind out of your 6 dice. Now, these are wild symbols here, but you're only allowed to use 1 wild symbol per mark. So once you're satisfied with your roll, you can mark up to 3 different spots. So there I did 2, the 3, and the 3. And then basically you're just trying to race your opponents and try to complete rows or columns. If you finish a row or column, there's a setting where you can actually cross out your opponent's row or column. So if I do all the cats, then all my opponents, whatever they don't have done on the cats row, gets crossed off. And then basically you score points if you can get 3 or more circles in a row or column. And then you just add the points here on this side and this side, and then you score the total there. So if you like rolling the rights, check that one out. Then we had Abracadabra, a card family weight game. There's very little information on this. I actually can't even find a English rule book. Here, the only rule book in English is just a link to the wiki rule summary. So there's only a little bit of rules here. So I'll go from what I've understood. So what you're trying to do is complete these little diplomas here. If you see each deck of cards have symbols on it, I believe those symbols are what's in the deck. So what you're trying to do is get rabbits here. So you see on the yellow one, there's a couple pairs of 2s. Here, there's a few 3s, but mostly cats. Here, about half and half, and so on. But the number of rabbits you have is what diploma cards you can take, 4 through 8. You kind of bust if you get too many rabbits more than cards. So if I accidentally get 9 rabbits, I can't take a diploma, I bust. Or if you get 3 or more of these cat symbols, then you also bust. So then you're just taking diplomas. So then the victory point is just getting 22 points at the end. Then we have Lorenzo il Magnifico, a worker placement game. This is a very dry Euro. It's been out for quite a few years. It is 2 to 4 players. There's a few settings there, but they're pretty much just basic settings. It is fairly highly rated at 131 on BGG. It's 7.8. Voted best with 3 or 4 players, and you see the weight of 3.29. BGA does say it'll take about 48 minutes real time. All right, the idea behind this one here is there'll be 3 dice rolled here, and these are the numbers you will use for each of your 3 workers. Everybody kind of shares this dice with their worker. And then you're going to place your workers here on these towers. You can see somebody placed here and here. There are 3 different colors, like I said, and there's one colorless one. But you're going to be placing your workers here. This is going to allow you to gain production down here, and then some money production into points here. There's also some characters you can get as well over on this side. But you can see there's the 2 production spots here, the wood, and then the gold production. Then the other round, there's some requirements you have to meet with the church, otherwise you get hit with negative effects. And then you're just trying to race to the most points. I'm still playing through my first playthrough here, so I haven't completely finished the game yet on this. It's a little bit longer and more time-consuming game for sure. Then we have the Biomes, a family weight style game where you're going to be exploring different biomes, making discoveries, and using gear along your way to make your actions stronger. This is a newer game, just came out this year. So far rated pretty high, but there's only a few ratings, so we'll kind of see. I believe this one was kickstarted. Alright, so this artwork's really cool. Normally the artwork's not a big deal for me, but I think this is a really cool artwork. A really cool looking game for sure. During your turn, you're going to be able to take 3 of these 7 actions. One of them has to be a travel action. Then you're going to be traveling around the board, exploring, collecting new equipment, discovering new animals, conserving the biomes, conserving the creatures in the biomes, filling up your journal, and then moving all your journal off to your supply. And then certain creatures need certain biomes. So to discover, certain creatures, you have to find them in the dry area or the grassland or so on. If you like this more artsy, it is a lighter game, but colorful, light game, check out this gun. Then we have Panda Ray, a trick-taking collection game for 2 to 5 players. Game came out 2 years ago, but not a whole lot of ratings quite yet. BGA says it takes about 17 minutes to play, and it plays great, turn-based or real-time. In Panda Ray, you'll be dealt a hand of cards. You'll see numbers on the top left. It is a trick-taking game. There's not any suits. The highest card will win, in theory. But if there's ever pairs, then whoever played the pair, the closest to the first player, wins the trick. Then you'll see each little character has different scoring abilities. Like the rabbit, you want to collect up to 5 of them, but if you get 6 or more rabbits, then you lose points. Giraffes are worth 1 point. This guy here, the owl, is worth points, but you have to have giraffe, owl pairs, and so on. So if you like trick-taking with a little bit of set collection, this one actually was kind of interesting, and I did like this one because it's a little bit different. I don't think 2-player plays particularly well. They add a random card that gets drawn in. So your opponent plays a card, you play a card, and then a random one comes in. So I didn't like that as much. 3 players definitely the way to go, or more. Then we have Alte, Dawn of Civilization. Deck building, civilization, conquest style game. Came out 2 years ago. Doesn't have a ton of ratings yet, but is rated as 7. 2 to 4 players. First, you get to pick a faction, which is basically just your deck and how it's laid out. Then you have a hand of cards, and you want to try to use all the cards and resources each turn because they do go away. You can place them on cards, so you can slowly build a village. Those resources will stay, or if you're building on technology cards, those resources will stay. But if you have a random apple left over and nowhere to place it, it'll go away at the end of your turn. All right, during your turn, you can play cards from your hand. You can try to acquire new cards, or you can do the develop achievements, which is like the technology. So you can see down here, these are where all the new cards are. So you can see the top right is the cost. So this one costs an apple to build, but then you can start using it to gain wood. Like my starting deck doesn't even have a way of producing wood. So I have to buy a lumberjack, add it to my deck, and then go on. Then you see there's technology cards down here, which give you certain abilities, or the bottom ones give you victory points. You can only have one technology at a time being built, but of course you can build multiple. And then you're going to spread out through the board. You have to use attack cards to clear these villages, and then eventually you get to the point where you're actually going to be attacking each other. Overall, this one's really cool. I really a fan of deck building, and a deck building with civilization building in it was a really cool idea. Then we have Apiary, a very well rated, popular game, just snuck into beta on late Friday. There's a solo version, but you can play 1 to 5 players. Takes about 60 minutes on BGA to play. See, it's weighted really well at 7.8, rated 317 overall, and we're looking at just about a weight of 3, 2.99. Now, since this game did come out late Friday and it being Mother's Day weekend, I didn't get a chance to play it fully. I actually played it only halfway through, I would say. But I'll give you the general overview if you've never seen the game before. You basically are going to have these bees, and they're going to be different levels, 1 through 4, and you're going to be placing them on the board. When you place certain bees on the board, it'll push workers off the board. So here the 2 will go to the 1 will get pushed off. It'll go to my opponent's, and then he'll have a choice to make with it, but generally you're going to be upgrading your workers, 1 to 4. Once you get them to 4, you'll see they do special actions on certain spots. And then when they get to a 4, then they go to the hibernation board here, where you're going to score points and other things. But you're going to be exploring the universe here, flipping over planets, getting resources that way. You can upgrade your little colony ship here with these tiles here. And you can see they'll go down on this board here. You can actually even get additional spots to build your board out even more. So you can build up your little colony ship really big. I haven't really played it much, so I can't give you more than that, but it looks really interesting. And I think this will be my pick of the week. I've heard lots about it. I've wanted to play it for a while now, and now that it's on BGA and beta, I have the opportunity. It did go from alpha to beta pretty quick. So let me know in the comments below what your pick of the week was, what your favorite was. As always, I've been the Digital Board Gamer. Good luck and have fun.